Hello, so I am going to be responding to the third prompt of describe how you are going to be partnering with families to help support a child's learning. So this is one of my favorite questions because I am a huge advocate for making sure you are partnered with your families as much as possible. And the first way that this whole partnership needs to start out is by building relationships with your families. Now, this will look different in different settings. If you are in a daycare setting, you will see parents more often than you would in a preschool or an elementary setting. So in a daycare setting, you see the parents usually drop off, pick up. Usually it's a different parent. Sometimes it's the same parent. However, to start that relationship building, I always ask parents how their day was or how their weekend is, or if they have weekend plans, if it's a Friday evening. I always start with that. And, if you are new in the classroom and, it's a parent you haven't met before, you go up, you introduce yourself and be like, hi, I'm Miss Marion. I am, the new teacher here. I have just started, just little itty bitty about yourself and being like, oh, I love having so-and-so in our class so far. I hope that, if there's anything you need, you can let me know. Little things like that. That way you don't feel so cold with the parents. The next thing that I like to do is talk to them about their child, be like, oh, instead of saying so-and-so had just a great day, maybe be like, oh, so-and-so played with these friends today. In an elementary and preschool setting, it is a little different because you don't see the parents regularly unless you have, drop off or dismissal duty. That's, usually when you see the parents, or a parent-teacher conferences. But most elementary schools have like a back to school night, so you get a chance to meet your parents there. However, I really like making sure that you introduce yourself at the beginning of the year, send out an email, send a note home, being just, saying, hey, I'm Miss so-and-so, like in my case would be, I'm Miss Anderson, and I, have been teaching this long, or, whatever. If you need to contact me, here's everything that you can contact me with. And that way you open that line of communication. Now, I'm not saying, you have to respond at 2 a.m. when they message you or whatever. A lot of schools have things like Seesaw and you can message back and forth. Excuse me. But, just making sure you keep that line of communication open. And then spending, maybe the second week of school, reaching out to your parents and, saying, hey, your child did this positive thing this week. That way, when you do have to call them for a concern, it's not it's not the only thing they're hearing is something negative. Now, if a parent comes to me and says, hey, I don't think, little Jimmy is doing this great in reading or, in speech, or he's just not grasping this concept. What can we do to help? Now, I would start off by providing them resources with what we have in school. A lot of public schools have speech therapists or social workers that can get in touch with speech therapists, or you have a whole line of support staff that can help. But if you don't have that, you need to reach out to Head Start, Early Head Start, Birth to 3. They have a lot of programs that help with those types of things. However, if you do have those, then I would absolutely give those out right away. And if they're having trouble with reading, I would, maybe create or find some extra books and be like, this is what, maybe like little lessons to help parents be able to work with them at home. That way, if they have the extra time, they can work on it at home and then come here and I can work on it with them. But the main thing is building that relationship so that they are comfortable enough with you to come to you and say, little Jimmy is not, I don't think little Jimmy is progressing the way that they should. Because if you don't have that, then they're not going to feel comfortable enough talking to you. So that's how I will partner with families.